Time for our review of Sinners, the new Ryan Coogler vampire movie, starring Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld and Jack O'Connell and a couple other people. Delroy Lindo, Miles Caton, um, just awesome cast, really, really good cast. Not a lot of names that I knew going into this, but some names that I know now. So. Yeah, man. We've both been excited for this since the first trailer came out. It was also like similar to the 28 Years Later trailer. Like it was just a damn good first trailer. Like we've been amped since the first like teaser came out for it. Um, and I even had it in my most anticipated draft at the beginning of the year that we did on episode one. And this is the first movie out of the most anticipated on my side that we've gotten to see, and my God, did it live up to the expectations. Ryan Coogler is a genius. He's a mastermind. I'd seen people say that this was his magnum opus, kind of a culmination of everything he's done up until this point, and I can definitely see that. He puts his nuts on the table with this one, and you can tell it is an unreal movie. My entire Twitter feed right now is Sinners stuff. Everyone, it like no, I've not seen one crossword about it really. Other than that, like one Rotten Tomatoes review you sent, but it's got like a 99 critic score, a 99 audience score. It got like the highest grade ever for a horror movie on Cinema Score. Uh, I think yeah, IGN hates everything, and they gave it like a 9 or a 10. Everyone's loving this
Yeah,
movie.
Cinema Score hates everything, and they gave it an A. So
Yeah, just unreal movie. I don't even know where to start, but other than that, Ryan Coogler is him, and he and the fact that he's kind of young. I mean, I don't even think he's 40, and he's already had the movies that he's had in his career, starting with Fruitvale up until this, and the fact that they're all with Michael B. Jordan is even cooler. The ultimate like little duo. I don't know of everything that Coogler has done, Michael B. Jordan has been in. I can't really think of another director, um, a director actor combo like that. Like obviously, De Niro did a whole lot with Scorsese at the beginning. And Leo has done a lot with Scorsese, but neither one of them have been in every single one
yeah,
of his movies. So, definitely very cool. This is the sixth time they've collaborated, and unreal stuff, man. You said it in your little Twitter review. They are the best. They're probably the best director actor duo in Hollywood right now. I saw a tweet. I think I sent it to you. They're like basically the Metro Boomin and future of movies, which I thought was a good tweet. Um, but yeah, man, unreal movie. Let's hear some of your thoughts before we jump into it.
yeah, visually it's so good. And you saw it in IMAX. I unfortunately did not because I saw it going back home. And even on our theater, I was so impressed with how it looked. Let me just tell you, the music is some of the best music I've heard in a movie in a very, very long time. This is one that just you're going to go back for music. And music really is a big part of this movie. I love the setting. I love the story. I love everything about this movie. It takes me a lot to even find bad things that I could say about this movie. Um, it is, like you said, Ryan Coogler absolutely has to be his literally it's a masterpiece for him. Him and MBJ are just made for each other, tailor made for each other. There's a reason that he goes back to him, and obviously he's playing two people in this movie, and that's so cool as well. We said it about Robert Pattinson with Mickey 17. There's no one else that can play Mickey. There's not probably anybody else that can play Smokestack. It's perfect casting. Everybody in this film is perfect casting. I loved everybody in this movie. There was not one single bad line delivered in this movie. Um, yeah, man, so impressive. It really is.
Yeah.
It's an art. I tweeted it in my, quick review that this is an art form. So obviously, it's art.
Yeah. Yeah. And something else that I actually found out earlier today, I was listening to Lights Camera Marshall's review on this. Um, Ludwig Göransson has also composed the score for every one of Coogler's movies. I didn't know that. I didn't know he had done Fruitvale. I think I knew he did Black Panthers. I don't think I knew he did Creed, but he did Creed 1 and 2, and he did Fruitvale. So he's also been, they're kind of like a trio. Um, so a lot of people are kind of like, I feel like, I mean, obviously Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, they deserve their flowers, but a lot of people are kind of sleeping on Ludwig. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he's proven himself the last couple of years to outside of Hans, bro, he's the best composer working right
Yeah.
now. And I think he has the potential to pass the GOAT Hans Zimmer. I mean, he had Oppenheimer a couple of years ago. I think he did Tenet. He's going
I
to be
mean,
doing
Oppenheimer
Odyssey.
is one of the best scores in recent memory.
Which one?
Oppenheimer is
Yeah,
just
dude,
one of the
no.
best scores in
And
recent memory.
this is much different score. This one is much different music and score than any of his other ones up until this point. It's very, very bluesy. Just awesome steel guitar blues music man from the Mississippi Delta, which is, we're from not far from there at all, which is super cool. Um, but man, like old school Delta blues, man, that was just where it was at, and the way he weaves that in and out of the movie, literally the whole movie is just unreal. Whether it's like them actually playing it or then it just kind of being the score, um, whether it's the vampires singing. Um, of them dancing in the barn or whatever. Like it's just uh it's it's one of those movies that there are certain movies that are the score's like almost its own character, and this is one of those movies.
Hmm.
Um it is an integral part of the movie. The music is an integral part to this story and what it's about. Um and he just, dude, he killed it. Awesome trio. I didn't know that they had done everything together as well. So awesome trio of guys working together, and they just kick ass in everything they do. But yeah, we can just kind of jump into the movie. So like, yeah, like you said, it's Michael B. Jordan playing twins, and he's going back to the Delta. He's done made some money up in he's done made some money up in Chicago, or they've done made some money up in Chicago, and they come back to Clarksdale, basically trying to make some money. They want to open their own little juke joint and have the whole town come out, um, play some blues music, have drinks, everybody party, whatever. And so they get back in town, and the whole movie takes place over the course of a day, which I thought was super cool.
Very cool.
They go into the town, they kind of recruit everybody, get everybody they need. You kind of get to learn a little more about them through all that, and you get to meet all the side characters. And that's really like the first act of the movie. The first like 45 minutes is just them going through town, getting everybody together, and then they make it to the juke joint. And everything's going great at first, and then until they're not, and vampires are introduced. We get Jack O'Connell. I think his name in the movie was Remick.
Yep.
He was Irish. Um, you get introduced to him, and then he, obviously turns a couple others down there into vampires, and they go to try to go to this party, and Michael B. Jordan and everybody can tell that something's up, and they decline them partially because they're white, and this is everyone else in the juke joint at the moment is, it's not. They could just tell something was a little off. Um, and yeah, man, thing shit just starts hitting the fan from that point on, and this movie's got everything. It's scary, it's like genuinely creepy. It's got some good action and fight scenes. It's really funny. There are several laugh out loud funny moments. It's emotional. It's even a little romantic. Um, and you just get all that, and all of it's propelled by just incredible acting performances and an incredible score and incredible directing and cinematography. Like everything just looks so real. You were really like immersed in that world. Um, and yeah, man, the whole like last act when the vampires really start, when everything like starts going down, man, I think I'd said it in my Twitter review, probably one of the top third acts probably of this decade, that I can think of off the top of my head, outside of like Dune Part Two, and maybe some others, but unreal third act.
I think I said that it was one of the most satisfying third acts ever. Um, and we talk about it all the time. Original concepts, original stories deserve to be praised, especially when they're really good. So this one to be an original story. Obviously, it's playing on the mythos, folklore of the American Delta, which is so cool. Me and you growing up, very, very close. Very, very. I mean, dude, I spent weekends there all the time in the Mississippi Delta. So I definitely understand some of the stuff that was thrown around. This is stuff that just, for us, look, I'm not going to say that it hits home for us, but we understand. We definitely understand blues music is almost vital to Mississippi's identity. So to have this played as blues being such a powerful weapon that it bends space and time itself to bring spirits from the past and the future together, to tell stories, to bring people back from the dead. I mean, it's just beautiful really is the word to describe it. um yeah, satisfying beyond. The world building in the first two acts I think is phenomenal. There's a lot of movies that do it bad and it's really slow, really boring, sometimes convoluted, but it felt like every character was brought up to where we had a relationship with all these characters, even the small ones. And I have to say that there's really not a bad acting performance in this movie. I felt very immersed in this world. It probably helps that I was watching it in Mississippi, which is hilarious. And Michael B. Jordan puts on two really good performances. But that's not he. I wouldn't even say he's the MVP of the film. There's people that steal the show from him, and we'll talk about them, and I think we'll talk about everybody in a minute. But yeah, though this story had me intrigued from the jump. When I saw it say Clarksdale, Mississippi at the beginning, you had me hooked because anything that I can kind of relate to in regional, like region wise, I'm in. I'm in. I really am. And there's so many cool stories that I heard growing up that I'm sure you heard growing up. That the history there, the blues there, the music there, all of that there is just so cool. And to see that played out and to bring that into a new, like, yes, it takes place in the 30s, but that's very modern. I mean, this felt modern movie. The costume design was so good. The accents that they were putting on, come on, come on.
Yeah,
I wonder if people that are not from that area had trouble picking up what they were saying. It was fluent English to me, buddy. Nah, it's so good. It is so good. I could go on and on. Y'all heard me rant about Warfare for a long time last week, and I could do it for this movie too. We got two stunning movies back to back. I would
yep.
say that we had the slow start, but especially original concept movies this year. Um, People were saying, Black Bag to Companion to Sinners, like all those movies that the original this year have been like hits.
Yeah, man. And that's another thing about the movie too, is the fact that it is like 100% original. It's not based on a book. It's not based on any existing IP. Like it is an original idea that Coogler came up with, which I love. Like even Mickey 17 is based on a book, and
Yep.
um, some of these other things are based on stories or true stories or whatever, like Warfare last week. But to get a completely original, just blockbuster like this, it's honestly pretty rare. And man, it just God, it was so good. It was so good. And let's talk about, man. Let's talk about that scene. That
Yeah,
scene in the middle, bro.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
mentioned it,
was floating.
dude. Jaw was on the floor when I
Yeah,
realized what was about to start going on, and she was narrating as he was singing. That spirits from the past and the present and the future all merged into one. When blues music is played, and then you see You see the dude strolling with the electric guitar, and you're
Hmm.
like,
Yep.
oh my God. And it's a big long oneer. It goes through the whole juke joint and just shows all of the evolutions of music, past, present, and future. Then a DJ's on stage, like spinning, and you got girls in the crowd twerking, and then it shows like people in old, like ancient
Yep.
outfits. Um, Unreal, unlike anything I've ever seen. And I
Yeah.
don't think that's something either of us expected in this movie, but that's the scene everyone's talking about. Um, that is like that's one of those movie scenes that I will remember forever. Like I will remember watching that. I like I literally I sat up in my chair and was just like
Yeah.
for the whole scene. Unreal. And that dude, everyone that scene's great, but God, that kid, Miles Caton, this is his first ever acting role ever. And he's doing that in the best scene of the movie, and he's singing as well as he is, and he actually learned how to play the guitar for this movie. Just wow. I mean, that is quite the scene.
One of the, I mean, gonna be defining scenes of movies from this year, this decade, this century. This is a, ooh, dude, it was something. I had goosebumps, man. Me and Avery locked eyes after that scene, and we were like, yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff right there. Now, Miles, who plays Sammy or Preacher Boy, he is outstanding. I mean, that voice is
Dude,
something.
even his like talking voice, he's got just such a good voice. But
Yeah,
man, when he sings too,
yeah.
dude.
Like, dude, me and you are huge music fans. We love all types of music. And something that we both love is old rock and roll music, which stemmed from old blues music coming from the Delta. It is just breathtaking to hear this kid sing. I mean, it is it is something. It is outstanding. He kills it. I just can't even. If that's your first ever acting gig, buddy, you got a bright future. Dude, I was sitting there like this, just like, go, 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 just go. Keep going.
Yeah, dude. He could sing his tail off and he could play that guitar, man. Oh, so good, so good. So yeah, no, piggyback off that, I do want to hear who your MVPs were, and mine as well. I definitely think him. He was a standout because he's someone we'd never seen before.
Yeah,
Um, and as soon as at the beginning of the movie when he walks into that church, um, he's very intriguing from the start. And he's
oh, yeah,
honestly
yeah,
I mean, he's the heart and soul of this movie.
yeah,
This movie revolves around him.
yep,
And man, God, he does a good job. Like dude, he takes the spotlight in my opinion, from MBJ, which is crazy. But I think he was MVP, and then I also think Delroy Lindo, who played what was the older man's name in the movie?
Slim. They just called him Slim,
Slim.
Delta Slim.
Delta Slim, I think that was his name. Yeah. He was unreal. He was very, very good in every line delivery he had. And it's funny, he actually is very British in real life, but
Yeah,
you could not tell at all.
nope.
Um, he delivered a great performance. Very funny lines, but then super emotional moments as well. And then Jack O'Connell as the villain, as the vampire Remick. Dude, he was creepy,
Yeah, he
man.
was.
He was like funny too, but just terrifying,
Yeah,
bro. Yeah, it's crazy. You got to move with Michael B. Jordan, who's like literally and physically like one of the hottest dudes in Hollywood. Everyone loves him, and he's like one of the biggest movie stars in the world. And I think he's overshadowed by a couple people in this movie, which
yeah,
is incredible, which I
yeah,
love. I mean, he still does great, but like the fact that you're getting these incredible side performances is huge.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So who were your MVPs?
Yeah, so I was gonna say Delroy Lindo. When you get somebody who is just he even makes a comment like, I believe that he had been around a while, that he's been in music a while, that he's seen the devil before. Yeah, no, he was funny, dude. He was laugh out loud funny. He made me bust out laughing multiple times. Our whole theater was cackling. And just yeah, now that I know that he's British, the accent that he put on is something that you would hear. Man, I'm not kidding. That's something you would hear in the Delta as well. And then I thought the girl that played Annie, Mosaku is her real name. I definitely butchered that. But Annie, who was kind of the let me make sure, Smoke's love interest. I thought she was great
She
as
was. She was
somebody
very good.
who, had known about the spirits, knew about the vampires. You could tell that she was in love with Smoke and had definitely been affected by losing a child. And that she was in love with Smoke all the time that he was gone. And she really cared for everybody that was in the juke joint that was part of her family. She calls Haley Steinfeld family. And to have somebody like that in a movie where definitely you're going to get laughs and everything, but she was definitely like the emotional backbone of this movie, who really was like almost like a mother figure to everybody there. I thought she was really, really good. And when her death, was sucked, where Smoke had to kill her himself, his love interest, and, even, Stack and Mary, when they had already turned, reached out to her after she died, which I thought me and Avery talked about for a little while what the reason for that was. And no, so I thought she was incredible. But Delroy Lindo Miles, Katana, who played Sammy, I thought Haley Steinfeld, even though she was a smaller role, she was very, very good. And of course, Michael B. Jordan was good as well. And the guy who played Cornbread was hilarious. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, Jack O'Connell though, like I mean, whew, yeah,
Yeah. And
no,
I mean, a lot of these characters played multiple, they played two characters. Michael B. Jordan played three. Uh, yeah, you had their character and then you had their vampire character. And I think they all did a great job, man. They were really creepy and, some of their like dances and singing and stuff was very like unsettling. And they just did a damn good job. We could talk about all these different MVPs, but the clear MVP here is Ryan Coogler. That is one insanely talented human being. Um, I would just words can't describe like how highly I think of him. I think he's submitted himself as like one of the dudes. I mean, he's 6 for 6. Um, he's just unreal, man. And it's so cool to see him kind of get to explore, something he's passionate about, which is music. And he said horror. Like he said I've watched interviews with him because he's been very involved in like the press for this movie. And he said that like horror's always been his favorite genre. He loves it. Uh, Sorry, and he loves music, so like getting to blend the two just means a lot to him. And dude, he was so good. He just did such a damn good job. And then before we give our scores, I also wanted to talk to you about the mid-credit scene. Obviously, the post-credit scene was cool too. Post-credit scene was just Preacher Boy playing. It was just Sammy playing the guitar, singing. What was he singing? This little light of mine, I think.
yeah, yep,
Um, that was cool. But
yep.
man, the mid-credit scene was probably the best mid-credit scene to any movie I've ever seen. And it wasn't your typical mid-credit scene. It was like an actual like almost like a second ending to the movie. It was about
Yeah.
5 or 6 minutes. It's a full scene. You get grown-up Sammy in the club or in Chicago in like a juke joint, played by Buddy Guy, blues legend, one of the best guitarists of all time. Eric Clapton, who's also one of the best guitarists of all time, has said that he thinks Buddy Guy is the best guitarist of all time.
High praise, man.
Yeah, he's he's unreal. So to see him like being Sammy, um, and I looked up Buddy Guy like afterwards, just kind of got some info on him. He also grew up in the Delta, man, and moved to Chicago. So, um, super cool. So you got him playing at Sammy like however many years later, 60 years later, and he's
At
close
where was he playing at?
in Chicago.
He was playing at Pearlines. That was the name of the club, Pearlines. Who was his love interest that, he went down on that turned
Her name
into
was
a vampire.
Pearline. I didn't even know that was her name, or was it Pearl?
Pearline. Yeah.
Interesting. I did not notice that. But yeah, the club's closing up, and um, the bartender says, "Hey, we got two more coming in. They say they know you." And he's like, "All right, send them in." And of course, Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld walk through, and they're like '90s get up. He's got the '90s hair, and she's all dolled up. She's got a sucker and the tight jeans and the '90s hair, and because you didn't really see what happened to them in the like I guess original ending. It never really showed. Um, So you find out in that scene that that Smoke had made an agreement with Stack, Vampire Stack, was like, hey, if you leave Sammy alone, you know, I'll let you live. Just leave Sammy alone and leave. Um, so Smoke kind of ended up, you know, saving Sammy's life, unbeknownst to Sammy up until that moment. So um, I thought it was just such a cool, like almost alternate ending that I was not expecting. And I think probably the most powerful line of the movie, the most like moving line, he was like, you know, as horrible, as horrific as that day was, and I've had nightmares about it every day since. Like up until that point, before it got bad, he said that was the best day of my life. And Michael B. Jordan said, you know, it was mine too. He said it's the last time I saw my brother, and it's the last time I saw the sun. And I heard that, I was like, damn, that's some good freaking writing right there.
Yep.
Awesome, mid-credit scene. Did you like it?
Yeah, he said
I did on LCB. They kind of had mixed feelings about it, but I loved it, man.
um yeah, it was almost like a closing of a book. He says that that night we were free,
Yep.
and it gives me goosebumps just even saying it. It's such a really, really good ending. To see a legend played, or get, and he even says like, "Hey, all that electric shit, I don't like it. I like the real stuff. I want it. Do you have that old guitar?" He gets it out, starts playing it. It's just, it's great. It's really great. It's actually perfect if you want my honest opinion. Um, you could say what you want about the movie, but that 6 minute scene really just is perfect.
Yeah, man.
It's awesome. Um, and even the after credit scene where he's just basically letting the guitar talk. He's letting the guitar talk. He's singing "This Old Light of Mine," and it's just good, man. Sammy is a just really well written character. I think Smoke and Stack are too. I think those three. There's so much symbolism I feel like in this movie, and we're gonna run it. It's so late already, and I don't want to get into 30 more minutes of symbolism. But that guitar, man, the one that he keeps, he could have easily dropped that guitar after everything he saw, and ran to his dad, ran to the preacher. He walks right out that door, still gripping what's left of the guitar, and he knows that music is all he wants, all he has. So I just think it's very cool. It's very powerful. Um, it's just really, really good, dude. It's just great writing, honestly.
Yeah, man. Let's jump into your scores. What did you give it?
Yeah, so it I didn't think this would happen 2 weeks in a row. I didn't think Warfare would do it with a 5 stars. I had high hopes for Sinners, and they exceeded every expectation that I had, from music to acting to setting to visuals. I gave it a 5 stars on Letterboxd. I'm not sorry at all. And after having a new number one last week, it looks like there's going to be a new number one this week. So after the 5 stars, I'm giving it this, probably it's going to be very tough to beat this score. Not giving it a 10, not giving it a 10, but I am going to give it a 9.7. I told Cole that the only thing that could bring this movie down for other people, so I'm not saying this is what brought it down for me to not be a 10. The only thing that could make it not as good in some people's eyes is the first two acts are a little bit slow for world building. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought it was definitely worth it, and it was satisfying. I could see how some people did not. So that is an opinion that I have, that I thought the world building was great. That might be in part that I love the Delta aspect of it and the characters. But a 9.7, it is right up there with some of the one of the best films that I've seen in the past 5 years easily.
Yeah. No, man, I do agree. It's up there for sure. Um, so I settled a little bit lower, and I'll explain why. I settled at 4.5 stars, and I ranked it 9.3. I did it point 0.1 under Warfare, and I'll explain why in a second. But Still unreal. It's in the nines. Like that is go see this movie. I'm not knocking it. Kind of like what you said. I did really enjoy the first act and the second act, but it did drag a little bit. I've seen some people say that and kind of have agreed with that statement. Like you said, you probably had a little more love for it because we grew up in Mississippi, and that's kind of like what it's about is establishing the setting and what it's like and everything. And I loved all that too. Um, but I think like maybe 10 or 15 minutes could have been cut out of this movie, and it would have just been a little bit more sharper. Um, but that doesn't take away from the whole back half of the movie being a masterpiece.
Mhm.
I also think like not even necessarily just the first act, but like the beginning of the second act when they finally like get to the juke joint and everything. It still takes like almost 30 minutes for stuff to start happening at the juke
Mhm.
joint, which I understand. You're trying to see all the different dynamics between the characters and stuff. But I just think there's a couple moments in this movie I think dragged a little bit, and I was kind of like, "Come on, let's get the ball rolling here." But man, outside of that, just perfect movie, acting wise, score wise, cinematography, directing, writing, like dude, just through the roof. Everyone killed it. Not one even remotely mediocre performance. Everyone killed it. Um, Unreal movie. The only reason I have it at a 4.5 and not five is for that reason. And it honestly takes a lot for me to give it a 5 star. It's got to be personal enjoyment and just I don't know. I only gave 3 movies 5 stars last year, and I saw like 80 something. So this isn't quite up like to the caliber of Dune Part Two, in my opinion, but it is still a damn good movie. It's probably the best movie this year so far. It's just personal preference and ranking. Warfare was just so much more moving to me, emotional, as we talked about last week, and I know you still agree with me there. And you still have it at 5 stars, but Warfare was just it just like hit me, man. It was just one of those super emotional movies, and this was honestly emotional too, but
I had a
just
lot to think about leaving this movie. I'm not
just in a
gonna.
different way.
There was a lot of yeah, yeah.
So that's why I have Sinners just a teeny bit below Warfare, but 9.3, 4.5, man. You gave it 5 stars. You even went up from what we originally talked about. You jumped up to 9.7. Go see this movie. Go give this movie
Yeah.
all the money. I am probably gonna go see this again. I loved it so much, and I want to see it on the big screen one more time. Um, unreal movie. We cannot give high enough praise. I mean, we could go on and on about it, but we we got to end this episode eventually. But um, dude, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and Ludwig Göransson, and everyone else, man, congratulations! You guys made a beautiful piece of art,
Hmm.
um, and I hope the world sees it. It seems like it's doing well. It's like one of the best R-rated movie openings, like like forever, outside of like Deadpool and stuff like that. But man, unreal movie.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.